All right. Thank you. Let me proceed. And I am reliably told that this afternoon I have class 8 students. And I think it's a good opportunity to have a chat with all of you because very soon you will be joining high school. Were it not for the COVID situation, probably we would be talking about a different thing altogether. But everything has a reason. This COVID-19 situation has introduced new experiences. It has also come with a few good things. Who knows? We would probably be having these Zoom sessions, Zoom learning experiences. And so for every bad, there's something good. Much as we mourn the situation that we are in, much as we are disappointed that we cannot be able to go to school, much as we are disappointed that we cannot be able to live our normal lives, much as we are disappointed that we're also not able to do a few things, visit a few friends, interact with our families the way we would have wanted to interact with them, it's all in God's plan, I so believe. So it is important that we take it in stride, that we appreciate the situation as is, even as we protect ourselves fully, because it is better and safer to be sure than to be sorry. I hope all of you are not in a hurry to go back to school until such a time that we are told by the medical team, by the government and the World Health Organization, that we have a better situation now, that we can be able to go back to school. So I would start by encouraging all of you that these are tough times, yes. These are difficult moments, yes. But at the same time, there are good opportunities around it. I'm sure you can now be able to interact better with your parents, get to know your parents better, let your parents get to know you better. Also learn a few things that probably you wouldn't learn in school. I believe in life is a journey of experiences. Life is a journey of continuous learning. Much as you're not in class doing classwork, the day-to-day normal learning, I'm sure at home you're learning a few things because there is knowledge and there is wisdom. That which you may lack at home is knowledge. Knowledge in terms of you don't have a teacher science at home, a mathematics teacher at home, a science teacher at home, a geography teacher at home, or a theory or an SS teacher at home. But I'm sure you have parents who have immense wisdom. You have relatives who have immense wisdom. You have neighbors who have immense wisdom that you can be able to learn from them. At home, I'm sure you have TVs, you have computers, you have all other technological appliances that you can be able to use to learn a few things, get to know a few experiences, get to know and to learn what I call life skills. There's no teacher at school who will teach you how to cook ugali, who will teach you how to make your bed, who will teach you how to do household chores, who will teach you how to feed your rabbits if you have some, or take care of your pets if you have a dog, if you have a cat, if you have all those animals at home. No one is going to teach you at school how to take care of them. But I'm sure at home you can be able to learn a few of these things because you need life skills and life wisdom much as you need the knowledge that you get from your teachers in school and everywhere else. But more important, I think it's also an opportunity to remind ourselves of the most important aspects of life. One of them is discipline. I am sure all of you are aware that in the situation that we are in, there are many children, many students, many pupils in class 8, in class 7, in class 6, or whichever class they are in, or in Form 1 up to Form 4, or in universities, who have probably thought it to be an opportunity to do things without being asked, people who are being indisciplined, people who are engaging in other unbecoming behavior, simply because there's no teacher to follow them up, there's no teacher to closely look at them. But at the end of the day, I want to remind all of you and to remind ourselves that it is your life. It is your life that you're joking around with, that you're playing around with. So you need to take care of your life. Because once schools are back, once schools are open, we need a complete student. We need a student who has not messed themselves up with teenage pregnancies, a student who has messed themselves up with the drugs and other unbecoming behavior. So please remember, even if you're not in school, even if your teachers are not watching you, even if your parents are not closely monitoring you, just know that it is your life. That which you have always wanted to be. If you wanted to be a doctor, if you wanted to be a journalist like me, if you wanted to be a nurse, if you wanted to be a teacher, like Teacher Polycarp and Teacher Ashford, if you wanted to be an engineer, if you wanted to be a pilot, your dream to be a pilot, to be a doctor, to be a journalist, to be a teacher, to be everything is still valid. However, it can be invalidated by your behavior during this period of COVID-19. If you engage in behavior that is unbecoming, if you become disobedient, if you become indisciplined, then your dream of becoming a doctor, your dream of becoming a pilot, your dream of becoming a teacher, your dream of becoming a pilot, your dream of becoming any other professional that you have always wanted to, will be up in smoke. So please take care of yourselves, be obedient. Don't forget all the things that your teachers have taught you in school and all the things that your parents have taught you at home. Most of it being discipline. So kindly, that is where I would probably start. Discipline, personal discipline. At the end of the day, it's about you. It's up to you. So take care of yourself. Don't wait for somebody to, to chunga you, to follow you up, to ensure that you're doing the right thing. Just be disciplined. And number two, this is an opportunity to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself in the sense that there are many people who would want to take advantage of you while you're at home. You have all manner of people who are of bad behavior. They would want to bring you into their bad behavior. Please resist. And if you notice anyone who would want to touch you inappropriately, who would want to tell you things that are not appropriate, who would want to tell you a few things on phone, on social media that are not good, please report them to your parents. Please report them to your teachers. Please report them to your guardians. I'm sure you even if it is a relative who is trying to touch you indecently, even if it is a relative who is trying to tell you a few nasty things, either on phone or in person, please inform your parents, because at the end of the day, we must ensure that you are well protected, you are well taken care of, and that when schools resume, you will be able to go back to normal life. And number three, this is also an opportunity to be close to God. I want to remind you to keep praying. Pray for yourselves, pray for your parents, pray for your relatives, pray for your brothers and sisters if you have any, pray for your teachers, pray for our country, pray for our leaders, and even pray for this whole situation that we are in, that it may end soon, that we may go back to normal lives. Pray for all the scientists across the world who are looking for a solution to this COVID-19 pandemic, those who are looking for a vaccine, those who are looking for treatment, and all those who are working in one way or another to ensure that we are out of this situation that we are in. So please keep praying for all those things that I've mentioned, so that ultimately, we may go back to our normal businesses that we conduct every other day. I don't know whether up to there's anyone who has a question. Please feel free to ask a question before I proceed.
Can you?
Yes, Wangeshi? Wangeshi, you are talking? Okay. I think we still don't have a question. We can proceed.
All right. Thank you very much. One, other than what I do for a living, I'm also a parent, and I'm a parent at Marion Farmhouse. I know the situation that I find myself in as a parent. I know there are very many anxious moments among our children, among you. I know there are many questions that you're asking yourselves that probably have no answers yet. I know many of you are asking, when are we going back to school? What is the government saying about our going back to school? What will happen to us? Are we going back to the same class that we were in this year? Are we going to have examinations? And all manner of questions that you're asking yourselves. But I would want to encourage you to be calm, to be patient, because no one knows when this COVID-19 situation will be dealt with. So no one can certainly say this is the day when our schools will resume. No one can comfortably say, this is how we are going to be living in a week's time, in 2 weeks' time, in a month's time, next year or thereabouts, until such a time that we get a concrete answer from the professionals in the medical field as well as our government. So while at it, I will encourage you to make sure that you use your time well. And probably that's where the gist of what I wanted to discuss with you this afternoon is, how do you use your time when you're at home? How do you make use of your time when you're not in school? I would still encourage you to have a routine, to have a program, to have a schedule, to have a timetable of how you're going to conduct yourselves and how you're going to conduct your day. Because the risk that you all run is that it's possible to wake up in the morning, be on your laptop up to evening. It is possible to watch cartoon all day. It is possible to watch Kina or to watch Selena or to watch Maria all day. It is possible to watch all those programs all day. But unfortunately, that will not be very beneficial to you. So it is important to have what I call a time management schedule. Let's say when you wake up in the morning, what do you do? What do you do between, let's say, 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, let's say 10 up to 1. In the afternoon, what do you do? In the evening, what do you do? So I want you to, I would encourage you to draw a time schedule, a map of sorts, what you're going to be doing, so that you don't end up seeing the days as too long and too boring and end up spending a lot of your time without anything meaningful. This is also an opportunity to keep fit a little bit, to observe closely what you're eating. It is very possible in this time to eat a whole loaf of bread. I know a few of us are doing so. I can see some smiling because they know that's exactly what they have been doing during this COVID-19 period. Please don't eat a whole loaf of bread. It is not healthy. Don't drink a whole packet of juice. Don't eat all the meat. Don't eat all the eggs in the fridge. Don't eat all the ice cream. Just be enough. Just have enough. And enough. Play a bit. Play. I mean, play. Play. Just a bit. Do a bit of exercises. Don't walk alone. We still talked about earlier on. We talked about the risks that are there. Get your brother and another that you can walk around with, even if it is within your estate. Just walk, exercise. Don't go to places unaccompanied because it's quite risky. Help your parents at home. I know most of you probably have a house manager that works in your various houses. Don't let them do every job. Don't leave all the work to them. Help them. Help them to wash. Help them to arrange a few things in the house. Just keep yourself busy. Keep yourself occupied, because every day your teachers in school tell you that an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So even in this situation of COVID-19, you have a lot of free time. So you can imagine how much of a devil's workshop your mind can be if you're not busy. So I would encourage you to plan your activities, plan your days, exercise, do a bit of playing, also do a bit of praying, praying, Praying. I'm sure many of you, because of the COVID-19 situation, are not able to go to churches because there's an ultimatum that came, there's a directive that came from the government that those who are age 13 and below and age 58 and above are not allowed or are discouraged from going to church. I know some of you are probably in that age of 13 and below, and you're asking now, what am I going to do because I can't go to church? You can follow church proceedings, or you can do a bit of religious studies. You can follow a bit of religious stuff that is online. Ask your parents to assist you to the same way you know where to get cartoons, the same way you know where to get Nickelodeon. I'm sure you can use the same facility to get to know where you can get some spiritual nourishment. You can get some songs, some scriptures that you can read, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Hindu. I'm sure you can access some religious material that you can read that is beneficial to you. And thirdly, and this is very important, social media. All of you now have access to phones, have access to tablets, have access to computers because of the Zoom classes that you're participating in every day. Just remember, those very same facilities, those same platforms are full of people who have bad intentions. There's a lot of nasty stuff that is on social media. This is a fact. There's a lot of pornography. There's a lot of material on drug abuse. There's a lot of material on all sorts of immoral things. There are people who would want to encourage you to join groupings that are not good. I will encourage you to desist from such things because they end up spoiling your mind. They end up polluting your mind. They end up making you a different person from the person you ought to be. And that is the way you're going to lose your career. That is the way you're going to lose your dream. That is the way you're going to have your ambitions go up in smoke. So I would encourage all of you to only consume that which is good on social media. Because we are in the era of social media, just consume that which is good on social media. And because it is not possible for your parents to closely monitor every other minute what you're doing on your laptop, what you're doing on your mobile phone, what you're doing on your computer. Just be your own personal guard and guide. Yeah. I'm sure all of you remember that old CRE story, that old Sunday school story that we were told that there were two young people, a boy and a girl, who were given an egg each, and they were told to go to the most secretive and the most hidden place and break it. I don't want to say whether it was the boy or the girl, but one of the children went hid under the table and thought that it was the safest place, the most hidden place to break the egg, and that person did it. But the other one came back with the egg and said, I have tried to hide myself, but I couldn't. And I was always feeling that somebody was watching me. And when that kid was asked, who do you think was watching you? I don't know, but somebody was watching me. So the moral of that story is that whatever you do, just know God is watching. Your parents may not be able to know exactly what you're doing with your laptop, what you're doing with your mobile phone, what you're doing with your computer. They may be busy at work. They may be busy doing other things. But just know, you cannot cheat yourself and you cannot cheat God. So stay away from all those things that are not right. Stay away from any discussions that would encourage you to join drug abuse groups that would encourage you to do all manner of immoral things. Just know that you cannot cheat yourself. You cannot hide those things from yourself. The same way, you cannot hide them from God, and you cannot cheat God. So just be honest to yourself, and you will be able to be honest to all other people. So I don't know whether there is any person who has a question or any other thing that you guys would want me to discuss.
Okay, anybody with a question now, you can ask, you can unmute, then you talk.
Excuse me, sir.
You are in a noisy place, just talk.
Yes, proceed.
You are once a candidate. What was your greatest fear?
Oh, thank you. That's a very good question. My greatest fear was to fail, because I think the spirit of competition and the spirit of winning is something that we must keep with ourselves every other day. So my biggest fear then was failing, and that fear is still with me today. I fear failing, and I hate failing. So I would also encourage you to fear failure and to hate failure. And the moment you hate failure and you fear failure, you will work very hard to ensure that you don't fail. And unfortunately, it's not possible to win every day. It's not possible to get what you want every other day. So how do you deal with fear of failure? How do you deal with failure? The most important thing is to know that once you have failed, you don't stay fallen. Once you fail, don't stay fallen. Rise up, dust yourself, and move on. Tomorrow is another opportunity to win. Tomorrow is another opportunity not to fail. The mistake that you make today that leads to failure becomes a lesson for you to avoid tomorrow. So my greatest fear then was failing, and my greatest fear today is still failing. But I would also encourage you, the best way to confront your fears is to face them head on. You know, don't it is not enough to fear failing. It is enough and it is important to confront your fear of failing. And how do you confront your fear of failing? You confront your fear of failing by preparing adequately for every activity that you embark on. You will ultimately sit for your examinations at the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education in one way or another. And not necessarily this year, but even next year, you will still sit for those examinations. You have an opportunity to continue preparing for those examinations. You have an opportunity to continue learning, to continue reading, to continue revising. Remember, you are still students. Even with COVID-19, you're still students. And if you are ambitious to score 400 marks and above, to take you to a good national school, to take you to a good extra county school, you still have that opportunity to continue learning, to continue revising, to continue preparing, because examinations will come. So don't tire, don't rest, don't slumber, don't decide that because we don't know when we are going to do our examination, that that matter is gone. No, it is not gone. Just continue preparing. You never know when the exams will be called. So always be prepared. When you're a candidate, you're like a soldier. A soldier is always prepared. I think the scout motto is always be prepared. Yeah. So I would encourage you candidates to continue being prepared every day, every minute, every hour, every week, every month, because you never know when the COVID-19 situation will be dealt with. You never know when you're going to sit for your examination. Just be prepared.
Thank you, sir.
Another question?
Francis GACHURI.
Yes, Faiza.
How are you?
Very well.
Could you kindly speak to expectations that you get from your loved ones,
Yes.
and you feeling that you're giving it your best and your best does not seem to meet those expectations?
Well, very important. Unfortunately, everybody has expectations in life. Our children, our parents, our relatives, everybody has expectations. For us, as parents, we have expectations that our children will score high marks, will do very well in school. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes we are disappointed with them. Of course, the children are disappointed in one way or another. Their expectations of us, maybe they wanted you to buy them something, they wanted you to take them somewhere, they were expecting something from a relative or a friend. But what is very, very important is, first of all, to appreciate that which our children are doing, that which our parents are doing, that which our relatives are doing. It is important to come from a position of positivity rather than from a position of negativity. First of all, appreciate that which you have gotten. First, say thank you for what you have gotten. It may not be enough, it may not be what you expected, but just say thank you first of all. When our children score marks that we didn't expect them to score, we first of all tell them you have tried, even if you didn't get what we expected of you. But now, after appreciating that which you've done, it is also important now to encourage you to go the next step. That life is a journey of continuous success. There's no day that we will get to a place and say, I am now successful 100%. That there's no more room for success. There's no more room for our expectations to be met. So let's start from a point of appreciating that which has been done, even as we push for more. So, especially for the young ones, I would encourage you to don't be gloomy, don't be disappointed with your parents, don't be unhappy with them, don't think they are failures, don't think they don't appreciate what you're doing, don't think that they don't feel what you're going through. Just appreciate that they appreciate you, first of all. And secondly, try your level best every day to meet their expectations. Try your level best every day to better your best. Today may be your best, but tomorrow can be better than your best, which is today.
Excuse me.
Yes, please.
And what if somebody's prepared for your exams? You're so much prepared, and then when you see the paper, you don't know, you just start panicking, and then afterwards you fail. How can you go about that?
That's very interesting. First of all, success or failure is in the mind. It's a state of mind. Yeah, it's a state of mind. If you prepare your mind that you're going to be successful, you will be successful. But also, that panic comes as a result of lack of preparedness. If you prepare and you adequately feel that you have prepared, your chances of panicking are very, very, very low. What you need to do, first of all, take your mind away from this thinking that this examination is too hard, my life depends on this examination, and so on and so forth. Just take it easy. Just take it easy. Yeah, take it easy. I'm sure at a later stage, probably we'll have this discussion. How do you prepare for your examination? I know some will say, I'm very good in maths, I'm very poor in science, I'm very good in social studies, but I'm very poor in, let's say, English or in Swahili, and you want to concentrate on one subject as opposed to the others. Just prepare adequately for everything and put your mind in that state of mind that you're positive about what you're looking for, and you will succeed. When you see a paper and you start panicking, it means probably there's something that you know you had not prepared adequately for. I would encourage you to just prepare adequately. When that exam comes, just be open, just be positive in your mind that you're going to succeed. Failure or success begins with your mind. If you have a winning mind, if you have a mind that believes you're going to succeed, you will succeed. But if you have fears that you're going to fail, then you will fail even before you start attempting any question on that question paper. But if you have a winning spirit, if you have a winning mind, even before you see the exam paper, even before you tackle the first question, you will already have a positive mind that you're going to succeed.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Can still pick questions, please ask questions. Ask all the questions that you have.
I can see a gentleman here called sorry. Yes, proceed.
Yeah, how
proceed.
are you, Mr. Francis?
I'm very well.
Yeah. Excuse me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I had a question.
Yes. We can't hear you.
Yeah, I had a question.
Yes.
What if you are prepared for the exam? You have worked hard for the term. You have worked smart, and then at the end of the result, you failed. What is the problem mostly?
Unfortunately,
what if you are prepared? You are prepared for the exam. You are prepared for the exams. You work hard. You work smart, but at the end of the result, you.
Unfortunately, it's not. You probably may not. Yeah.
What if you are prepared for the exams, and then
We have gotten his question, so you can just continue. We have gotten Alex's question, so you can answer it, Mr. Francis. Alex, mute. Alex, mute. Okay. So.
Teacher.
I think because of network, maybe it's.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
You muted Mr. Francis.
Francis, kindly unmute. Francis, kindly unmute. Okay. I don't know, it's not getting us.
Cha, he's in, but he's muted.
Oh yeah, and that's I'm telling him to mute, to unmute. Mr. Francis, kindly unmute.
Monica,
Yes.
I can be helping Francis as he gets ready. What was the question?
Oh, the question was if you prepared and then you failed. I think that's what he was asking. Alex was asking if you prepare and then you fail.
Right. I think that happens. Some students have that experience. You can prepare so well, and then when you turn the pages of exam, the KCPE, you realize they are not the questions that you had prepared for. And there are times when some incidences happen once or on the eve of KCPE, and that may also affect your preparedness. Nevertheless, you heard what GACHURI said. If you fall, you don't remain on the ground. You don't remain fallen if you fall down. You wake up, you dust yourself, and you proceed. In any case, and I am not saying this to discredit KCPE, in any case, there are many people who are failed in KCPE, and because they are given a second chance, that is the KCSE, they make it up. They make it up. It is very possible, by the way, and I do not want to scare anybody, that you may not get the results or even the school that is your dream school. However, KCPE is just the starting. There is a second chance. That means when you go to high school, whichever secondary school that you will be invited to, you can always make it up and you can correct that situation. Yes.
Sorry, I'm back.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry, I'm back. Sorry, I was getting so many calls. That's why my line went mute. But I hope you cannot be able to hear me. Can you?
Yes.
Thank you very much, and I thank Ashford for holding brief for me those few minutes that I was away. And if I had right what Alex was asking, he was asking what happens when you attempt an examination after having given it your best, after having revised, after thinking that you did your best, and then all of a sudden you realize you didn't succeed. Unfortunately, our best at times is not enough. That probably what we were preparing for may not necessarily be what we face in an examination. But it's the power of positivity that once you fail does not necessarily, failing in one examination does not necessarily make you a failure. Yeah, you can fail in one examination in one subject, but that does not make you a failure. Actually, what it does, it encourages you, it challenges you to be positive. It challenges you to try again and to keep trying it. Persistence. All those great researchers, all those great people who were inventors, they did not invent great things that we see like electricity, like flying a plane, like all those things. They didn't try the first time and they succeeded. They tried once, twice, some hundreds of times, and they ended up succeeding. You may be disappointed that you've failed in one examination or in one paper, and you think it's the end of you. It's not necessarily the end of you. Actually, it's the beginning of you, because it tells you that you have tried something that didn't work, and probably it's an opportunity to try again and again and again and again until you get it. So persistence is the name of the game. Be persistent, be consistent. When you fail, don't stay fallen. You know, don't stay where you've fallen. Rise up, change your mind, change your attitude, and give it another try, and you will succeed. You may not necessarily even go to the school that you wanted to for high school. I know most of you would want to go to Alliance High School, to go to to Maseno or to Kenya High. I know those are your dream schools, but just bear in mind that it's probably not possible for all of us to go to those schools. But it would also be good that we keep trying to go to those schools. But whichever school you go to, what is important is not the school that you go to. What is very, very important is what you do when you go to that school. If you're taking your mind and a positive attitude to Kenya High School, to Moi Girls Eldoret, like I've seen somebody post there, if you're going to that school to go and sleep around, just to go and be lazy, I can assure you, you will not get good results. But if you go to another school that probably you didn't like, and you take with you a positive mind, a consistent mind, a persistent mind, you will be surprised that you will succeed. Look at the last examinations. There are people who went to what you'd call some very low day secondary schools, but they ended up getting A's. Yet there are some people who went to Alliance High School, to Kenya High School, to Moi High School Eldoret, who got D's and E's. It is very disappointing. But because they achieved their goal at one point, got there, got lazy, forgot their dream, and got disappointed. So it is very, very important that whatever you do, even if you fail in one paper or in two papers or in one exam, it's not the end of life. Actually, it's the beginning of another, that you can try again and again and again until you get to where your desire, to where your dream, to where your ambitions are. So in a nutshell, don't be afraid of failing. And even if you fail in one way or another, it's not the end of you. Sometimes you will think, I should have scored more marks than so and so, but the best competition is not a competition between you and others. It is a competition between you and yourself. Your ultimate competitor should be yourself. If you compete against yourself, if you compete against your mind, if you compete against your heart, if you compete against that spirit that tells you you have not done well, you can't do it, you can't make it, if you compete against that spirit and eventually you end up winning, that's a better success, that's a greater success than even competing against thousands and thousands of other people.
Very much for that. Some of them were complaining about them not being in the list, maybe top 100 and the rest. But we encourage them that let them set their goals and hit them. That's the only thing that they can do the best. Set your goal and hit them. Compete by yourself. Thank you very much for that. Another person, please.
Okay. Hello.
Excuse me, sir.
Hello.
Let's have Nani, Mary, then Nesling.
Okay. Well, sometimes this happens to us. We are usually prepared and we are set with positive attitudes. We are very happy and we are ready for the exams to come. But when it comes, it is okay. Everything just goes away and you end up failing.
That's the panicking that we were talking about. Please don't panic. And panic is a manifestation of somebody who was not very well prepared for an examination or for any challenge in life. Don't panic. Just take it easy. Just take it easy. And taking it easy does not mean overconfidence. Don't say, this is an easy paper, I will make it. This is simple, I will. No. Just take your positive mind to that examination room. Just be easy, be calm, look at everything positively. Unfortunately, one of the reasons why we fail in examinations, and I say fail because I also do examinations once in a while for various papers. One of the reasons why we fail in examinations is failure to take note of simple instructions. Sometimes you're very well prepared, but you overlook certain things. For example, you ask, which of the following is not? And you end up answering, which of the following is? You know, you miss that not. So the answer that you will give does not necessarily mean that you did not prepare. That does not necessarily mean you don't know it. But you simply overlooked certain small things. You know, just take one question at a time. Take your time. There's a reason why one examination is 2 hours and 30 minutes, or 2 hours, or 1 hour and 30 minutes. Those minutes are calculated per question. So if you realize that you've done your examination, let's say an examination that was supposed to take care of, that you're supposed to do in 2 hours. If you realize you're doing an examination in 30 minutes, there's something wrong somewhere, you know? The people who crafted how an examination should be done, when they accorded you 90 minutes or 120 minutes, they knew exactly what they were doing. So if you realize that, let's say, for example, you have you have 50 questions to attempt, and you have been given 2 hours to do that, just do simple calculations. 2 hours is 120 minutes. For how many questions? For 50 minutes. Just say the first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes is to familiarize yourself with the examination, you know, go through the paper, you know, become friends with that paper so that you stop seeing it as an enemy, you know. Look at that paper. First of all, tell it, by the way, you and I, we are here to deal with each other, so stay calm. Spend your first 5 minutes, you know, go through the basics. Have you written your index number correctly? Is your pencil in the right shape? Do you have a rubber? Have you prepared, you know, your environment basically? Yeah. The first 5 minutes, familiarize yourself with the examination. Then the next 5 minutes, use them to go through the paper. You know, just look at the questions. How are they structured? What can you see? You know, just feed your eyes on that paper correctly. And then if you have another 110 minutes to go, and you have been given 50 minutes, 50 questions to handle in 100 minutes, even allocate it 2 minutes per question, you know, and then the remainder of the 10 minutes, you use them to go through the paper, see whether you have answered all the questions, and don't stick to one question. For example, if you realize you're spending 3, 4, 5, 7 minutes on one question, just know you're inviting disaster on yourself. Just look at the first question, and if you have allocated 2 minutes per question, some questions you'll answer them in a minute. Some questions you'll answer them in 3 minutes. Averagely, give it about 2 minutes per question. It is the easier way to go about it. But if you realize that you're spending 5 minutes on one question, 10 minutes on one question, just know you are eating into the time of another 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 questions. And eventually, you may not be able to tackle all the 50 questions. So you will feel like, well, I prepared, but I've not gotten it the way I wanted to. Just familiarize yourself with the examination. Don't panic. Don't be in a hurry to finish and, you know, go out and play. Just take your time. You will not do examinations forever. You will only do those examinations for a period of time, maybe 3 days, maybe 4 days. Those 4 days are very, very important. Don't be in a hurry. Take your time. Read the questions correctly. Answer them carefully. And once you're done, you have another 10 minutes to go through your questions. You know, go back there again, reconfirm what you did, and all shall be well.
Excuse me, teacher. Mr. Francis.
Yes.
When you say that hard work is the key to success, every time when you feel weak or when you feel disappointed, you're always given advice and you're told to step back again and go on. But sometimes you always forget your dream and always think and always focus on other things, like, let's say, electronics, play with gaming stuff such as PlayStations and other things. What can you do in order to stop thinking about electronics and focus on your studies?
Focus. You see, those electronics are there. The PlayStation is there. The PlayStation will always be there. Even in 20 years, there will be a PlayStation. Even in 30 years, there will be a PlayStation. By the way, when we were young, there were PlayStations. and I still see most of you. I even see my children with PlayStations. So PlayStations will never end. Electronics will never end. But your stay in school is for a certain duration of time. You would rather spend your time for that duration of time in school and this period that you're preparing for examinations to do the right thing. Because there will be no question whatsoever in your KCPE on any question about PlayStations. There will be no question whatsoever in your examinations about TVs and everything else. But there will be questions about what you're revising about, what you've been taught in school. So focus and also allocate time. Say a day has 24 hours. How much time do I have to sleep? How much time do I have to eat? How much time do I have to read? How much time do I have to do my household chores? How much time do I have to take care of other things? How much time do I have to play? How much time do I have for PlayStation and for other electronics? It is not possible to be on electronics from morning to evening, to be on PlayStation from morning to evening. Just allocate your time. The same way you see in school, you have a timetable. I would encourage you to craft a timetable for yourself and say, I will allocate myself 30 minutes to do PlayStation. I will allocate myself 1 hour to do PlayStation. The rest of the hours, I will read, I will revise, I will eat, I will sleep, I will play, I will pray, I will walk, I will visit, I will also do other things. So basically, if you spend too much of your time on one thing like PlayStations, unfortunately, it will be difficult for you. So my encouragement to you is just focus. Keep your mind focused on what you're doing. Don't allow yourself to be distracted by other things. I know it is difficult to stay focused and not to be distracted, but consistently try to be focused.
Thank you very much. Neslin was having a question.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Neslin.
Like now we are at home and we have enough and humble time to read on our own. But you find there are some things or maybe topics when you read alone you can't understand. You need someone to explain, and at that moment there's no teacher. What do you do?
I'm sure your parents are available. I'm sure your classmates are available, because there's a lot of power in communal learning. Yeah, I'm sure in your class you have a classmate who understands a few things, who probably knows a few things better than you do. The same way you know a few things that better than your classmates. If you find yourself stuck, just call one of your classmates. Just call your parent. Just call your teacher. I am 100% sure it is not possible to miss all of them at the same time. Yeah, you will find one of them, either a classmate or a parent or a teacher who is available to assist you. But don't get stuck there. Don't get discouraged because you are trying to learn something, you're trying to read something, and it can't sink in your mind, and you feel hopeless. No. Don't be helpless. Just seek help, seek assistance from those who would encourage you, and I'm sure you will find someone to assist you in one way or another.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Thank you, Neslin.
Excuse me. I have a question. I have a question, please.
Yes, George.
Okay. My question is, to study is very important to every pupil in the world, not specifically in the country Kenya. But my problem is, when you study and you're going to tackle a paper, sometimes you find it's a question that you have revised to it, but you cannot understand. How can you overcome?
What is important?
Let me say generally, how is it best to? What is the best way to study?
The best way to study is to understand, because I see the biggest challenge that we have with many of our students is they want to cram. You want to cram everything. Your mind is not a sponge. It cannot absorb everything. So don't attempt to cram. Don't be too interested in cramming things. Understand. It's better to understand. For example, we are now continuously moving from an environment or a study environment of trying to cram things, trying to grasp things. We are moving more and more into a world of education that is more applicable, that is more about understanding. So don't attempt to cram too much, because that's how you go to an exam room and you realize your mind is saturated with things that you tried to cram. It's not possible for your head to hold everything, but it is possible to remember applications. For example, I'm sure you in school, your teachers have taught you, let's say, for example, if it is mathematics, they have taught you how to make certain applications to apply certain things. Try to understand more than to cram more, because the moment you try to cram, it becomes very, 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 very difficult. But if you try to understand things, it is possible to remember even something that you learned when you were in class 1, in class 2, in class 3, in class 7, in class 8. It's possible to remember some application that you learned. But if you try and cram everything, you can imagine what will happen to your mind if you attempt to cram everything that you learned from class 1 to class 8. It's difficult. Don't cram. Don't cram. Just try to understand things.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is nice for them. That's what I normally like, because sometimes some of them read, cram before they go for the exams. And then when they go there, they get questions that they have not crammed, then they get confused. So thank you very much. Any question, Caroline?
I have a question. Sure.
Excuse me.
Yes, Caroline first, then Aline.
Guy.
Sure. Let's say you're in an exam room, then you are just reading a question, you find it, you cannot understand it. Is it best for you to guess?
Well, I don't know. That's a very difficult question to ask about guesswork. But this is how I look at it. If you have in an examination room, let's say you have 50 questions to answer. Well, you may want to get everything, but I don't think it's possible in one way or another. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, I don't think there's a 99% chance that you will not be able to get everything. But you see, that's why there are grading systems. For example, an A is from, I think, 80 or 70 or 80 or thereabout. Polycarp, if you remind me.
80. It is 80 and above.
Yes, 80 and above is an A. Yeah. So you can imagine there's a reason why those people who do the grading decide that for you to get an A, you don't need to get 100%. It's because they understand it is not possible to get 100%. So what I would encourage you to do is that, first of all, aim to get an A. Start there, 80%. 80%, if you're doing 50 questions, you simply need to score 40 out of 50, you have an A. Yeah. So give yourself some leeway that in the event that there's a question that you're not able to answer, it should not discourage you that because you stuck your mind there that I must get this question, and because you can't get it, you spend your 10 minutes there. Don't spend your 10 minutes there. Divide your time. If you realize you're spending 3-5 minutes on a question, just know you are entering a very dangerous ground. Once you have answered all the questions that you were very comfortable answering, you will realize that probably out of those 50 questions, you have already answered about 45. That 45, if you get 40, you have already gotten an A. Yeah. And that's why we said you will still remain with about 10 minutes at the end of it if you spend your time well. Those 10 minutes, you can now use them to go back to the 2, 3, 4 questions that you are unable to answer. And you realize probably by the time as you move on, because I see how examiners are clever people. Sometimes they link questions. You realize that there's a link between question 1 and question 2, or question 3 and question 4. There's always a linkage of some sorts. You know, you may realize that by attempting to answer question 2, actually you have even found how to answer question 1, that you probably were stuck there. You realize that probably because of how you answered question 2, it becomes possible to answer question 3. So don't get stuck in one question thinking that if I can't get this one, then I'm discouraged. You have another 46, 7, 48, 49 questions to deal with. Deal with all of them. The ones that you don't get, just leave them. You know, for lack of a better word, just jump them. Go to the next one. Answer a series of them. Once you have the next 20 minutes or so to wind up in an examination, go back to the questions that you didn't answer, and you will realize that because now you have encountered a few more questions, a few more challenging questions, you go back and you realize, kumbe, this question was this simple, and that's how you easily get your A. So don't get stuck on that one question because you cannot be able to answer it at that point, that you think now you're passing or you're failing is dependent on that one question. That is not the case. Just be diligent, and that's how people say just be smart. You know, the way you study smart, you should also do your examination in a smart manner. And being smart does not necessarily mean stealing. No. Smart means doing it in the right way. Don't spend your 2 hours answering 10 questions, yet you're supposed to answer 50 questions. Spend your time wisely, cleverly, diligently in an examination room, and you'll succeed.
Thank you very much. We still have 5 minutes, I think so.
Excuse me, sir.
Mr. Francis. Mr. Francis.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Sir.
Excuse me.
I want to.
Teacher, I have a question.
A question.
Leo watu wametulia. Ndio watu kuongea takataka wa
I have a question.
Yes.
Let's say, for example, that you study so much when it comes to you are preparing for an exam, then you find like maybe you have a problem with your parents, or maybe when you don't do well in your exams, you're not going to be in so much peace with your parents. As in, sometimes you can actually lose your trust in them. So what should you do in such a scenario?
Oh, interesting. I think first of all, it is important that you have a friendly relationship with your parents. What do I mean by a friendly relationship with your parents? First of all, it is important to have an understanding with your parents. Your parents will easily understand what you can do and what you can't do, what you can get and what you can't get. What is your capacity to succeed? Not every child can get 500 marks out of 500. Not every child can get 450 marks. Not every child can get 300 marks. There are some, no matter how much well they try, they will still not get 400, but they will try. Your best is not everybody's best, So what is important is to have a conversation with your parents. Let them understand what you can do and what you cannot do. And also, I wouldn't encourage you to be lazy, to say this is the best I can do. Not necessarily. Just have a conscious, candid discussion with your parents. Tell them these are my weak points, these are my strong points. They will help you to work on your weak points as you strengthen your strong points. So don't go to an examination room with your parent in mind. So I want to pass this examination so that I'm not in trouble with my parent. I want to pass this examination so that I make my parent happy. The most important person to make happy is yourself. Is yourself. First of all, make yourself very, very happy. And at the end of it, at the end of that examination, are you happy with what you have done? Do you think you have done your best? If you're the one who was marking that examination, would you say you've done your best? Would you say that is the best that you could? Because your parents will also, I'm a parent and I will tell you that the truth. It is not possible to allow you to sleep, to be lazy, and then when you fail in an examination, then I'm very happy with you. I will not clap for you because, you failed in an examination. But if you show diligence, if you show you did your best, I will also look at it and say, you may have gotten 300 marks, but you did your best. Yeah? And also, it is not possible for you who can get 450 marks. If you get 300, I will not be very happy with you because I know you could have done better. You could do better. So the most important person to please is not your parent, is not your teacher, is not your relative. It is yourself. When you look at your examination result slip, are you proud of what you've done? Are you happy with what you've done? Can you confidently stand up and say, this was the best I could do? If that was the best you could do, then that's great. But if it's not the best that you could do, probably you slept, you did not revise, you are not careful, you didn't work hard, you didn't work smart. The marks that you got, they may not be the best, and that you will have disappointed yourself by not doing your best, more than you will have disappointed your parent or your teacher or your relative. Just do your best. Once you do your best, your very, very best, when you look at it and you're proudly saying that you've done your best, don't even worry about it.
So thank you
Excuse
very
me,
much.
sir.
Abigail.
Excuse me, sir. Teacher.
Abigail, ask.
Excuse me, sir. Thank you. My question was, how do we overcome pressure from our parents and our teachers? Because sometimes we can do well, but then they expect much more, and you do not know how to get to that much more.
Well, that's a good question. But you see, your teacher, your parent, first of all, wants the best for you. So that what you call pressure is their desire for you. You know, as a parent, I must set the goals and my desires for my children. What sometimes they think is their best is not necessarily their best. It's not probably even anywhere near their best. But my work as a parent is to encourage my child to get the best. Your teacher's job, primary job, is to push you to your limits, to push you to your best. And please don't be comfortable with small. You know, don't be comfortable with average. That me, out of 500, me if I get 250, I'm okay. It is not okay. It is not okay. Average is not enough. Unfortunately, our society today, we live in a very competitive world. Average is not enough. Average is not enough. Just aim to be excellent. Aim for an A at all times. Aim for the best, the highest grade, the highest attainable grade. In your case, is an A. Aim at that. If you try your level best to get an A and you land at a B, if you land at a B, we will have a discussion. We will say, well, I wanted an A, but you got a B. Not bad at all. Let's wait for the next examination. But if I fully believe confidently that you have been provided with a platform, with resources, with time, with an environment to get an A, and then you score an E, that is not good enough. That is not good enough. So please don't be unhappy with your parents when they want the best for you. Don't be unhappy with your teachers when they want the best for you. Because 5, 10, 15, 20 years to come, you will realize that the pressure that your parent was exerting on you, the pressure that your teacher was exerting on you, was because they desired the best for you. And you will realize that some of the situations that you found yourself in were really, really important. I can give you examples. And I'm happy my friend and my colleague Faiza is here. That when we were young, and Polycarp and Ashford can tell you, our situation was even worse. You'd be, there was a lot of beating those days for you to pass. And I realized some of the, maybe in hindsight, some of the punishments that we went through were probably good because they helped us to shape into what we became many years later. So please don't be discouraged. Don't be unhappy when your parents exert pressure on you because they really, really, really want the best for you. They just want the best, nothing but the best for you. Just do your best at all times. And if you do your best and your parent looks at it and says, yeah, I wanted an A, but you've brought a B, you've tried, we can give it another try another time. But don't be lazy and don't be comfortable with average. Don't be comfortable with average. Out of 500, you just want to pass 200 to get 200. It's not possible. It's not possible. I see somebody asking me a question here. How do you pass without revising? It's like asking, how do you take milk without a cow? How will you have milk without a cow? How will you write without a pencil? How will you rub without a rubber? I mean, revising is a key and very critical component of studying. You will not pass if you don't revise. Let me not lie to you. If you don't revise, if you don't work hard, you will not pass. Just revise diligently, give it your best at all times, and you will succeed.
Excuse me, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Please.
Excuse me, sir.
Wait. Nicole.
Excuse me.
Nicole, then Darlene.
Please. Excuse me, sir.
Nicole, then Darlene,
Excuse me, sir.
Excuse me, sir. What if you study too much and forget what you already know?
Excuse me, teacher. I have a question.
Wait, can you be quiet? Our time has gone. Yes, mute, everybody mute. Everybody mute. Ezekiel mute. Correct, thank you. So you can use the chat now to ask the questions because time has gone. I don't know if we can be added. Mr. Francis should tell us. If
No
we
problem, you
continue.
can proceed. You can do another 30 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. So now we have Nicole, we have Ezekiel, we have Frida. So Nicole, then Frida, then Ezekiel, then there was Lundi here. So let's move that way. Thank you very much. Nicole, start.
Sure, what if you study too much and then forget what you already know?
What if you study too much and forget what you already know?
Yes.
You can never study enough. You can never study enough to forget what you know. I can remember things that quite a number of things that I studied in primary school, and I left primary school how many years ago? 1995. But I can remember quite a number of things that I studied in primary school. I'm sure Polycarp left school earlier than I did. I'm sure Ashford left school earlier than I did, and they can still remember quite a number of things that they did. So it is not possible to study too much and forget some. It's not possible. What you need to do is just study in bits. It's like the same way we eat every day, but everything that you've eaten since you're born, if it was all brought together and you're told now eat it, all of it, it's not possible to eat all of it at the same time. So even revising and studying is like eating. Eat in bits. You eat in bits, a meal after another, a meal after another. So even studying, don't take a whole book, like a science book, and you want to revise from page 1 to the last page in a single sitting. It's not possible. You can't take a math book and let's say you want to revise from page 1 to page 100 at the same time in one sitting. It's not possible. Just revise in piecemeal, bit by bit. The same way, you don't eat lunch, breakfast, supper at the same time, all of it. You eat it in bits. Even studying is like eating. You eat in bits, in bits. You will never forget. How is it possible that you can't forget what you ate last week, but you can forget what you revised last week? It's possible to remember what you studied last week the same way you can remember what you ate last week.
Ezekiel? Ezekiel is not there. Frida? Yeah.
I was supposed to go next after the other one.
Oh, sorry, go, Lelin. Go, thank you.
How can I balance studies and hobbies? Like, I know studies are important, but how else can I do studies and at the same time do my hobbies and spend time with my friends?
A very good question. It's called balancing. If you realize you're spending too much time studying at the expense of your hobbies, at the expense of your friends, at the expense of your life, and so on and so forth, then you realize there's a problem. At the end of the day, we want what we call a complete person. We want a person who is studying. We want a person whose mental state is correct. We want a person who is in touch with themselves. They know themselves. We want a person who can play, who can interact with other people and so on and so forth, who can do their work. And that's why even in school, you have a timetable. Sometimes you have PE, you have tea break, you have lunch break, you have time for clubs, you have time for music, you have time for all those things. I go back to where I started, planning. If you realize you're spending too much time with your friends and you're forgetting to study, there's a problem. If you realize that you're spending too much of your time on your PlayStation and forgetting to read and forgetting to socialize with your friends, then there's a problem. If you realize you're spending too much time sleeping at the expense of learning, at the expense of doing your assignments, at the expense of doing some work that you have been assigned by your parents, then there's a problem. So at the end of it is how you balance your time. Come up with your own personal timetable and say between this time and this time I will be reading. Between this time and this time, I will be playing. Between this time and this time, I will be interacting with my friends. Between this time and this time, I will be helping in household chores and everything else. Because a day has 24 hours. There's time to sleep, there's time to eat, there's time to read, there's time to interact with your friends, there's time to play games, there's time to do PlayStation, and all manner of things. But if you realize you're spending half of your day, 12 out of 24 hours on your PlayStation, there's a problem. If you realize that you're spending 12 out of 24 hours interacting with your friends, there's a problem. If you realize that you're spending 12 out of 24 hours sleeping, there's a problem.
Thank you. So we have Frida. Frida, we don't have time, Frida.
If you have the addiction of watching TV and all of that fun stuff, and you want to read, how can you overcome the temptations?
The first way to deal with that temptation is to switch off the TV. Switch it off. It's not possible to read and at the same time to watch TV. Those two things don't go together. Switch off that TV and go to a place that TV is not there. You can, move to the dining room and study from there. You can move, if your house is slightly bigger, you can move to another corner of the house and study from there. But don't lie to yourself that you're going to sit there with your TV on and you're holding your book. It's not possible. Switch off that TV, sit down, concentrate. You have, sorry, I'm sure most of you have watches. Set your watch and say, I'm going to study for 1 hour, 60 minutes. Do that 60 minutes intensely. Once you're done with those 60 minutes, now say the other 60 minutes or the other 40 minutes, I'm supposed to do A, B, C, D. That's why you see even in class, one teacher cannot be in class the whole day from morning to evening. You will have science, you will have mathematics, you will have English, you will have science, you will have everything else. It's not possible to have a situation where the English teacher will be in your class from the moment you get to class in the morning to evening. It's not possible, because it's like feeding you on ugali after ugali after ugali after ugali. And that's why life requires some spice, yeah? So, do a bit of playing, do a bit of PlayStation, do a bit of interaction with your friends, do a bit of reading and everything else, so that at the end of the day, you have a complete day, you have a complete cycle. But if you spend too much time on one thing, then just know you're disadvantaging something else. If you're spending too much time playing football, yeah, let's say 12 hours playing football, just know you're eating into the time either of your sleep, of your interaction with your friends, of your studies, of you praying or doing other things that you're supposed to do. Just balance your life.
Excuse me, sir.
Wait first, Patrick. Thank you. We were having Lundi. Yes, Lundi.
I have a question and an opinion. Okay, my question is, what can you do if you find that you cannot commit to a timetable for a good productive amount of time? You procrastinate a lot and you know it, but you still keep doing it.
Please come again. Come back again. I can't hear you clearly.
What can you do if you find that you cannot commit to a timetable for a good amount of time, and you procrastinate, but you know that you're procrastinate, but you still do it?
Well, what is important is that as you prepare that timetable, just know that timetable, its implementation depends on you. It depends on your discipline. And there's this interpretation of what discipline is. Discipline is doing the right thing at the right time, in the right way, at the right place, and in the right manner. So if you craft a timetable and you cannot follow it, then it means you have a case of indiscipline. You have a problem of discipline, yeah?
Yeah.
Discipline is just doing the right thing. When you craft that timetable, you've already decided, I'm going to do between this time and this time, I'm going to do this. Between this time and this time, I'm going to do this. So your ability to follow all those things shows that you're a disciplined person. Yeah, shows that you're a disciplined person. But if you write a timetable today and you cannot follow it, it means you cannot be able to follow many other things in life. Yeah, and success is about ability to follow timetables, ability to follow time schedules, ability to follow basic instructions, because you're writing that timetable to instruct you, to tell you between this and this hour you're supposed to be doing this, between this hour and this hour you're supposed to be doing this. If you find yourself not following it, just know there's a problem. You talk about procrastination, that I will do this tomorrow, I will do this tomorrow, I will do this tomorrow, I will do this tomorrow. That is not the right thing to do. Just know the most important thing is to do things when you're supposed to do them. If, for example, you said, I will do A, B, C, D on Monday between 10 a.m. and 12, just do it. Because if you don't do it, you will be eating into the time of another thing that you're supposed to be doing at a later date. And that's why you realize people talk about, oh, nilikuwa na pressure, I had too many things to do at the same time. That should not be the case. If you plan your life well, if you plan your things well, you will never find yourself in a lot of pressure. But if you say, I will do this tomorrow, I still have time, I can do it next week, I can do it next month, time will catch up with you, examinations will come, and you will realize that that which you said you are going to study a month ago, you haven't. And unfortunately, it's probably one of the most critical questions that you'll be able to deal with in an examination setup. So my answer to your question in a simple manner is, if you set out to do something, if you have a timetable, just follow it. That is discipline.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have Patrick. Wait first. We have Patrick.
Excuse me, sir.
Patrick, wait. Patrick, wait. I was to go to Ezekiel, then Patrick later. Yes, Ezekiel.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay. I have a question. What if your parents and teachers put a lot of pressure on you to study hard and get good marks? Then the exam comes, you're afraid to do the exam because afraid they are going to punish you when you fail. How can you handle this situation?
Interesting. What you should do in such a situation, just know that you're not passing for your parents. You're not succeeding for your friends or for your teacher or for everybody else. You, first of all, the first beneficiary of your success in school and elsewhere in life is yourself. So I would say don't be too bothered, or don't be too consumed by the pressure that comes from your parents. Just aim to succeed as a person. And then secondly, as I said earlier, have an honest conversation with your parents. Tell them, Mimi, these are my strong points, these are my weak points, and then see how they can be able to help you to strengthen your strong points, and where you're weak, to help lift you up. Sometimes we parents, and I would concede this, maybe we pile a bit of pressure on our children, on the students, but it's not, we don't do it out of hatred, we do it out of love, because we want you to succeed, we want you to be your best. And you realize that many years later you're going to realize, hey, my parent was right by piling a bit of pressure on you, and so on and so forth. Just sit down, talk to your parents, tell them, Mom, Dad, these are my challenges. Mom, Dad, these are my weaknesses. These are my strong points. So let's see how we can help each other. But don't hate your parents. Don't dislike them. Because the moment you hate your parents, then you will not see anything good in them. You will have a problem relating with them. First, be friends with your parents. It is a very, very important component. Just be friends with your parents. And once you're friends with them, they will understand your situation. But if you throw tantrums because your parent asked you about why you didn't pass, why you didn't succeed in a certain subject, and you throw tantrums, you become abusive, you become disrespectful to your parents, then it becomes a big, big problem. Just have a conversation with your parents. Let your parents be your friends. Ask them a few questions that you have a problem with. And if you realize that in one way or another, maybe your parent is not understanding you, I'm sure you have an uncle, you have an auntie, you have a grandparent who you can tell, Mom, Shosho, or Guka, or Uncle, or Auntie, I think I'm having a problem, A, B, C, D, and probably my parent is not understanding me. Please help me to talk to them. Or you can call your teacher, tell them, Teacher, I think my parent is not understanding my situation. Please talk to him or her. And it becomes a good conversation. But don't throw tantrums. Don't be disrespectful to your parents, because if you do, then it becomes a problem. Be open with your parents. Tell them, be open. Tell them this is what is in my heart. This is what is in my mind. It becomes easy to relate with them if you are open to them and if you're doing it in a respectful manner.
Thank you very much. So we'll only pick two. That is Patrick and Patrick.
Excuse me. If I am bad in English and I try to have a good attitude to it, but I can't. And how?
Okay. I hope I got you right, Patrick. You're saying if you're good in other subjects, but you're not very good in English or very good in mathematics, what can you do? You see, Patrick, the mind that understands science very well is the same mind that is not understanding science. That is not understanding English very well. Same mind, because you don't have two minds. You have one mind. It is you. You have one head. So success and failure is in the mind. The same mind that understands science is the same doing very well in social sciences. So what you need to do is to train your mind, is to tell your mind, this same mind that is understanding science is the same mind that has a problem with English. It shows that you have maybe put it in your mind that I can't, it's not possible. But just approach it with a positive mind and realize that if maybe you will realize probably you are allocating too much time maybe on science and very little time on English. Maybe you are allocating too much time on mathematics and very little time on Kiswahili. It's a balance. Try and do a balance and seek assistance for a subject that you probably feel strongly that you are unable to do it. Seek out the help of your parents, seek out the help of your teachers and everything else. But please, I would discourage you from telling your mind that I can't. I can't is the language of losers, but I can is the language of winners. I would encourage you to adopt the language of winners, which is I can, and drop the language of losers, which is I can't. Because the same mind that understands science and mathematics is the same mind that is understanding English. It's the same mind that is understanding Kiswahili. So just train your mind that it can be done. It can be done and it will be done.
Thank you very much. So we have...
Excuse me, may I ask a question?
Okay.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Wait first, Simon. Who was supposed to go next? I forgot. There's somebody who was supposed to talk. Nicole has talked. Because we don't have, we don't have enough time for everybody to talk. So can we give Grace? Grace has not talked. Gracie, Nimo.
May I ask a question after her?
Then it will be after Gracie, we have Jacinta. Then I think we'll close there.
I was asking what if your parents want you to be maybe a doctor and you don't want to be a lawyer and they're forcing you. So what should you do?
That's a very good conversation. At least it means your dad has seen some potential in you to be a doctor and you see some potential in you to be a lawyer. Both are very good. But what is in your mind? What is in your heart? What do you strongly believe that you want to be? The same question of openness. Have a conversation with your dad. Ask him, Dad, why do you want me to be a doctor? What do you see in me that looks like a doctor? Or why are you convinced that I can be a doctor? And have a conversation with your dad and tell him, Dad, I think I should be a lawyer. I want to be a lawyer because of 1, 2, 3 things. I'm sure your dad would want you to be a lawyer. I'm sure your dad would be happy if you became a doctor. I'm sure your dad would become very, very happy if you got into a career that is helpful to yourself first and helpful to the society. So don't be angry because your dad is asking you to be a doctor. Don't be angry because your mom wants you to be a pilot and you want to be a lawyer. Have a conversation with them. Ask them, Dad, why do you think I look like a doctor? What do you see in me that strongly makes you think that I can be a doctor? And probably they'll help you see some things. More things that you have than you have in life. They have more experiences. They have interacted with many situations, and probably there's a reason why they're convinced 100% that probably you can be a doctor. But you also have a mind of your own. You have a heart of your own, and you can tell them, I want to be a lawyer, and you want me to be a doctor. Just have a conversation with them why they want you to be A and why you want to be B. Do it in an open manner, in a respectful manner. But don't be angry because you want to be a lawyer and your dad wants you to be a doctor, and you get angry and you get disappointed, you get disillusioned. No, that's not the way to go about it. Have a conversation with your dad. I'm sure he wants the best for you. Your mom wants the best for you. Your teachers want the best for you. Just have a conversation with them. Find out why they want you to be A or B or C while you want to be D. And ultimately, you will come up with a solution. Don't be disappointed. Don't be annoyed. Don't be angry about what your father thinks of you or what he sees in you.
Thank you very much. Jacinta?
Excuse me, I wanted to ask, like for me, when I don't revise, that's the time I'll pass a lot. But when I revise, I will fail. How can you please help me?
Please come back again.
For me, when I revise for my exams, I fail. But when I don't revise, I pass. Please help me.
It is not possible to rely on luck alone, because what you saying is relying on luck. Because if you don't revise, how will you prepare for an examination? You prepare for an examination by revising. So it means if you do an examination and you have not revised and you pass, you've relied on luck. Unfortunately, one day you will run out of luck. That is the most unfortunate thing. One day you will run out of luck. So I would discourage you from relying on luck. Rather, just try to do your best. A bit of luck may come in, but luck is not enough. All you need is not just luck. You need more than luck. You need to prepare. And you also remember, I mean, life is more than just that one exam. There are too many more things about what you're doing. Revise. I would encourage you to revise. Please don't say that you only pass when you have not revised. That is a very dangerous way of looking at things.
Thank you. So lastly, we have Simon. Simon,
excuse me, Mr. Francis.
Yes, Simon.
Okay, what did you do to get to where you are, and how do you endure the pressure in Citizen? Like, you have to look for information to give to us, like during the news time. Yeah.
Well, very good, very good. What actually we are discussing here is part of what we do every other day. We also have to read. We also have to revise. We have to read quite a huge amount of stuff to make it very easy for you to understand. Sometimes you have to work very late into the night. Sometimes you have to be up very, very early. You have to sacrifice a lot of your family time. You have to sacrifice a lot of your comfort. Basically, a lot of dedication is required. So what is important, first of all, is to have fun at what you do. Enjoy what you do. The moment you enjoy what you do, it becomes very easy to continue doing it for 1 year, for 2 years, for 10 years, and for as long as you can. First of all, enjoy what you do. Even school, enjoy studying. Just know that it should not be a punishment to be in class. It should not be a punishment to be a student. It shouldn't be a punishment. Please have fun studying. Enjoy it. And you realize the subject that you enjoy most are the ones that you pass most. If you enjoy mathematics, you will definitely pass. If you enjoy science, if you enjoy English, if you enjoy Kiswahili, if you enjoy SST, you will pass. But if you see your English teacher and you become gloomy, failure begins there, because you'll be disappointed, you are annoyed, you're not happy. So you are not even listening to what your teacher is teaching you. But if you enjoy what you're doing, it ceases being a burden. It becomes something that you find fun in. So to answer your question, how do we deal with pressure? We deal with pressure by, first of all, enjoying what we do, and first of all, and secondly, enjoying the outcome of it. When I do a story, when I do a show, and it's successful, I feel very, very happy. And for me to be happy, it means I have to prepare adequately so that I can get those results. So the same applies to all of you. You are not going to enjoy the success of, being called the top student in the country, or going to a top national school, or being a doctor, or being a journalist, or being a lawyer, or being a pilot. You will not enjoy those fruits if you don't work very hard for the tree that is going to yield those fruits. So just have fun, enjoy what you're doing, and everything else will be very, very good.
Hi, Mr. Francis. I wanted to ask you a question.
Hi, Catherine.
Was journalism your first occupation, or did you have another occupation you wanted to be? And how did you get to there you are right now?
Well, journalism is, and will always be my preferred point of occupation. I mean, it's something that I realized from way back from when I was small, that I wanted to be a journalist. It is in my heart. It is in my mind. It is what I live. It is what I do every other day, and I have fun enjoying it. I would also encourage all of you to, first of all, identify what do you want to be. What do you want to be? And then you start working towards it. The moment you do that, life becomes very, very, very easy. But when you do something that you don't enjoy, when you do something because you want to earn a salary, or you just do it for, your heart is not there, you will never have fun, and it will always look like pressure. It will always look like somebody's punishing you, somebody's pushing you. That should not be the case. It is very, very important that you do that which you enjoy doing. If you find fun in what you're doing, it ceases being a job. It becomes part of your life, and by so doing, you're able to achieve very, very many things. The career that you choose will take you places. There's some places that you will go to that ordinarily life would not have taken you to if you didn't do that job. So I would encourage you to first identify what you want to be, have a discussion with your parents, have a discussion with your teachers. Probably they will guide you in the right direction. You may think you want to be A, and then you end up realizing, hey, I was not made for A, I was made for B. Some years back, I thought I could make a doctor, but unfortunately, I realized with the guidance of my teachers that probably I was not made for to be a doctor. And my being inquisitive, my love for languages, they probably realized that I could be a journalist. And from there on, I started working very hard to be what I am today. So have a very good discussion with your parents, with your teachers, an open and honest conversation, and in a very respectful manner. They will guide you in the right places if you allow them to.
Okay, thank you. There is Evelyn.
Excuse me, teacher.
How do you deal with politics, since it can be messy?
Politics is not messy. The people, what is messy are the people who practice politics. Politics is a way of life, if you may like it that way, because everything we do is about politics. Even the choice of the dress that you're going to wear today is politics. Why do you choose this dress and not this one? Those are politics of dressing. Even eating, why do you want to eat this and not this? Those are politics of food. Why do you want to wear these shoes and not the other shoes? Those are politics of shoes. Why do you want to go to one place? Why do you want to visit this friend and not the other friends? Those are politics of friends. So politics is a way of life. It doesn't necessarily have to be bad. What is bad are basically people who practice it. If you practice it in a wrong way, then it ends up being bad. But by and itself, I don't think politics is a bad thing, especially if it is practiced in the right way.
There is Naslak. Naslak, want to ask something?
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
We are getting you.
Sir, if I try reading harder and harder, I revise so hard. But when the results come out, I just fail more and more. What can I deal with that situation?
The easiest way to deal with that situation is to read in a purposeful manner. You know, by reading in a purposeful manner, I mean, don't read everything at the same time. It's not possible to read, to have one English book for 1 hour and study from page 1 to the last page. Do it in a systematic manner. You know, have a timetable that tells you between this hour and this hour, I will read this. Between this hour and this hour, I will read this. And, you know, in a simple manner, if you try and, let's say, you want to cram everything, you want to understand everything in a small period of time, in a short span of time, it will be very difficult for you. And that's why you'll realize you spend a lot of time reading, cramming, but you don't get the necessary results that you desire. I would encourage you to read in a clever, smart, and purposeful manner. You know, in bits. Just read, internalize it, understand it, ask questions where you don't understand, and then after that, go to the next one, and so on and so forth, bit by bit. You know, your mind is able to absorb very many things, but in a systematic manner, in small bits, bit after bit, bit after bit. Don't go out there thinking that you can read everything at the same time. It will be very, very difficult. Just do it in bits, small pieces. The same way you eat. You don't take a whole plate of ugali and put it in your mouth. It doesn't work that way. But you eat it, you know, in bits and bits and bits and bits.
So thank you very much. Thank you. Can you mute everybody? I think we might not be able to talk, all of us. We are 100 of us, but we are going to organize another meeting so that the people who have been left out can continue talking. I want to, Faiza Kama, if she is still there, Faiza Kama is still there, can say something, then we will give a vote of thanks. Faiza, if you are still there. I don't think if she's there.
I'm here.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
I'm here.
Can you say something, please?
Okay, I think my friend and colleague, Francis GACHURI, has captured almost everything and also put everything into perspective clearly. What I want to insist on is attitude, first of all. If you tell yourself you cannot do something, you will definitely not be able to do it. Everything begins in your head. Yes, we all have different strengths. That one is agreed. There are those who are very strong in languages. There are those who are strong in maths. But that does not mean that just because you're stronger in language than in maths, you tell yourself that I can't do maths. I can only do English and Kiswahili. Your mind gets used to what you tell it. If you keep telling it, I can't do it, you will not be able to do it. Have a positive attitude. Then it will work out. About spending your whole day reading, it is not possible to live like that. Have a timetable, a structured timetable. I have seen a lot of chats with people saying how parents are very strict. I'm also a parent and I'm also very strict. But if you have a timetable that is clear and it has its own breaks in between, what you do in between those breaks are the reprieve you get from reading. So everybody, even your parents, understand that you can't read from the time you wake up to the time you sleep. The parent understands the breaks that you're taking. But probably the reason why your parent is hard on you is because hajaona kama uko na anything you're working on. You don't have a timetable you're following. You don't have anything that is guiding you in your studies. So every time your parent is coming in, anaona ni kama you're just idling around. But if you have a timetable and your parents are aware of your timetable and your parents know that you need to take breaks at certain times, I don't think they will tell you to be studying from morning till evening. But kama wewe ni wale watu wenye parent akiwalk in, you are watching TV, unaizima raka, assuming that hata hakusikia sauti from where she was coming from or he was coming from, alisikia sauti ya TV. Just because haja raise, haimaanishi hakusikia. So be this person that your parent can trust. Anajua, if I leave my child in the morning, this is what is expected of that child, and the child is going to follow that kind of a timetable. Si ati nikitoka, I am not sure you read, because even when I'm there, tunacheza mchezo wa paka na panya. When I'm upstairs, umewasha TV downstairs. Nikirudi juu, unajifanya umesoma, I find you on your PlayStation. You know, when a trust between a parent and a child, such that a parent hata akikuacha at home, ama kama hata yuko, there is nothing totally negative in their minds. They know this one knows what is expected. This one is studying. That way, hata kuwa nakimbizana na we the whole day. Soma. Anajua, as a parent, we went to school those many years ago. We know there is no way you can study from morning till evening. So tutakupatia your break. Another thing is social media. Because you've been given these gadgets and your parents have trusted you with these gadgets, they expect the best from you. They expect that you will use them wisely. They expect that they don't have to come and keep on checking on what you're doing online, because you know what you're expected to do online and why they have provided those gadgets for you. Be thankful that they have actually provided these gadgets. There are a lot of children who would wish that they had these gadgets and they don't. Your parents have actually seen the need and sacrificed a lot for you to be able to study online until you go back to school. The best reward you can give them is to use those gadgets wisely and in the way that is expected of you. Kando na hapo, I don't think I have much more to say.
Thank you very much. Let me call Teacher Raphael.
Excuse me.
Hey, Simon.
Okay, if you don't mind, Mr. Francis and Madam Faiza, could you please tell us on how we can reach you, like on social media or any form?
Oh, very interesting. We are on social media, but I am not sure what you would be doing, especially on social media. Especially now that you're in class 8. If you want to get in touch with us, and with me or with Pfizer, please ask Polycarp, ask Teacher Ashford where you can get us. But I would discourage you from finding us on social media for obvious reasons. You're still young, very, very young, and the social media is a very difficult place to be, especially for your age. Very many good things are happening on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and everywhere else. But also some very bad things are happening in that forum. So I would be very cagey about allowing you to find us there. Because while I can be able to handle what's happening there, I doubt you can. And I would want you to spend more of your time doing what you're being asked to do every other day through these Zoom classes, through the social media platforms in terms of the academic opportunities. I would encourage you to use the good side of social media before you interact with the bad side of social media. Discipline is the most important thing. While we were still doing this discussion, I was able to go through some of the interactions that you guys are having on the messaging, yeah, and on the chat, and I realized that there's some of us who are not very good. There's some of us who have challenges with their discipline a bit. I can see some conversations that are not very good. Some language that is being used that is also not very good among yourselves. That's how we go wrong, and you will realize that in some years to come, you will realize some of the things that you do now will catch up with you. So I would encourage you to be of good discipline, to be of good character, to be of good mind, because your character tells us the kind of a person you are. Like most of you, actually, other than Pfizer and Polycarp and Ashford, I don't think I've met quite a number of you. But looking at your charts, looking at the charts there, you can easily tell this is this type of a person. This person thinks this way. This person behaves this way. This person conducts himself or herself this way. So how you do things easily tells the kind of a person that you are. So I would encourage you to be of good character, to be of good discipline, because you may be the cleverest person ever. You may get 500 out of 500, but if you don't have discipline, I can tell you for free that's useless. It will not take you anywhere. But with the right attitude, with the right discipline, you will go places that even a person with the highest degree, the highest grade will never go to. So discipline is very, very important, and it is also how you do things. Even before you speak, people can easily tell the kind of a person by how you behave, how you write, what you do, the kind of conversations you have, and so on and so forth. So please be of good character. It is the most important thing. Actually, your character is the fuel for life. If you have the right character, it fuels you to move on in life. But you may be, it's like a vehicle. You may have the best car, but if it doesn't have fuel, can it move anywhere? It can't. And that's why you see even the most expensive of vehicles, at one point or the other, you find them in a petrol station. To do what? To refuel. Your character is your fuel. So if you don't have character, you will have very high marks, but it will not take you anywhere.
Okay, thank you very much. Teacher Raphael, can you say something, Teacher Raphael, and give a vote of thanks to our visitors? Raphael is there? So I think Teacher Raphael is not there, but I want to just take this opportunity to thank you very much, Mr. Francis and Pfizer, for gracing this occasion with us. These are the candidates who are planning to do exam, and they are also revising through the online, doing some papers through online during this pandemic, and they are doing well. So we found a way, we wanted a way in which we can encourage them so that they keep on pushing, keep on going on, because the time is still coming. As you have told us, failure is not anything that bad, but how failing next, that's the problem. And very many people have failed. They have tried and failed, but they finally came up with got the right thing. So we are just encouraging you, even if you are getting 40, tomorrow get 42, tomorrow get 44, like that, if it will finally reach where you want. May God bless you so much for being with us, Faisal and Francis. God bless you so much. We are willing to call you again. If you have time, you will still be with us. Thank you. God bless you so much. We want to break now, unless there's somebody is having any question. We want to break so that we prepare for our exam, for science exam. If anybody having something to say, you can somebody to say something. Mr. Francis is still with us. Okay, Abigail.
Yes, I thank you for this opportunity, first of all. I would love to thank Sir Francis for being here, to Madam Pfizer. We thank you for the teachers, Teacher Ashford, Teacher Polycarp, even Evelyn, who was writing some pointers in the chat. Thank you for organizing this. I have learned a lot, and may God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abigail. Okay, Neslin.
I want to thank you, Sir Francis and Madam Pfizer, and thank you for the advices and the answers, and may God bless you all.
God bless you too, Neslin.
Another person, please.
I want to thank you because you have helped us to learn to have a positive attitude, and that we should always improve on our studies to help us have a better life in the future.
Thank you very much. So you can see that Patrick.
Thank you for this rare opportunity, and it has taught us many things. Thank you for all of you. Yes, and God bless you.
Nicole.
Chair, I want to thank you for this opportunity because it has helped us come over our fears of exams, and it will be able to help us to do better.
Amen. Eugene?
Thank you, Evelyn.
Eugene?
Thank you for everything and help us to succeed.
Thank you, Evelyn.
Thank you.
Oh, Eugene, sorry.
Oh, Eugene, thank you. God bless you. Is there anybody want to say something?
Me?
Nasla? Naslak?
Me, thank you, Mr. Francis and Madam Faiza, for spending your time here because you have helped us a lot. Thanks. May God reward you.
Thank you,
Evelyn?
Nas.
Evelyn?
Okay. First and foremost, I want to thank the Almighty God for enabling us to reach here. And I also want to thank Mr. Francis and Madam Faiza for their points. I've really learned a lot. And we want to thank them for the work that they are doing for our country.
Thank you, Evelyn.
Amen. Thank you. The last person, we have 1 minute. Thank you. So, Mr. Francis, as you can see, the children are very happy and they have gained a lot. And even the messages that I'm getting from parents right now are telling us, thank you for inviting Mr. Francis in the program. So meaning you have done a good job. There are parents behind these children there. They are listening to what you have told them. And I think any question that were concerning parents, they are going to discuss with them. May God bless you so much. So see you. We will call you again one day so that you talk about that social media, so that and the effects, so that at least the children, because right now, you know, these children are getting, they have a Wi-Fi kwa nyumba, they have phones, they have laptops, they have tablets. So they when there's no learning, they might be using them in a wrong way. So yeah, we'll call you one day. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Polycarp. I appreciate. And all these are my children. And so it was a good opportunity to have a chat with them. And I'll be happy to come and discuss with them again a few other things. I've also learned quite a number of things from them. And every day if you don't learn something, then you consider that day wasted. Because life is a journey of continuous learning. I've learned something from them. I hope they have learned something from me and from Pfizer. And it would be a good opportunity again to continue learning from each other. But lastly, I would tell them that the difference between success and failure is here. It is in the mind.
Yes. Thank you. It is in the mind. God bless you. So you people, you can now leave and go and prepare for your exam. That is science. Yes. Okay. Thank you. So you can leave. You can leave as you go and prepare. Okay. And this issue of Alex and the cat, what is it? Surely, I'm wondering, because it's the one that Mr. Francis was talking about. There are a lot of things of the cat, the paka, the panya, the what. Can somebody explain what is it, Alex? Alex, the cat pan, what is it? Yeah, you know, it's not good for us to have visitors, and then the visitors realize that there are bad things going on in the chat. Even me, I was seeing them, something about the cats. Can somebody explain before you do? What is it, Alex?
Sure.
Somebody want to explain?
It's just that he likes cats.
Oh, he likes the cats.
Yeah.
Now people are calling it Catman. You know, our facilitator might have not known that. So please, when we have visitors, let us behave well, so that our chat. That's why I said I wanted all to see the chat for Jacinta, Sharon, and Evelyn to write the point. And then when you have a question, just ask. But now you are talking about the Pak and Apanya. So the visitor was not very happy with those kind of words. So kindly please check that again. You might have not known that Alex liked the cards. So see you guys. Thank you.